The first step of Feng Shui is also creating space. Yeah.
Mhm.
So creating space to allow the universe to bring energy towards you. So that could be your wallet, right? Getting out all your receipts, right? All your old photos or any papers that are not good anymore. Just organize things.
Hello and welcome to the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival podcast. I am your host, Rach Cox, and I am thrilled to be interviewing some of the world's best known experts in spirituality and well-being. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Well, first of all, I am very excited, honoured and privileged to be talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on behalf of MBS to speak to me. I'm just going to give everyone a quick synopsis of who and what you do. Marie Diamond is a world-renowned master teacher of Feng Shui and the law of attraction, 6 times global best-selling author and star of a major network TV series, Feng Shui Your Life. And you have also been featured on NBC, Fox, CBS, and you've also starred in The Secret. You have got quite a lot going on. And on top of that, my favourite bit is that you're a knighted dame. That is so posh.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's because of my charity services to humanity. So, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you again. And very much looking forward to what you have to say. Would you give us an introduction to Feng Shui for people who have no idea about what it is?
The Feng Shui, first of all, is a Chinese energy system that I believe kind of started about 4,000 years ago. It's like at the same time when the Chinese started understanding qi and energy flow and started creating modalities like acupuncture, tai chi, qigong, but it's all about the breath and movement. And Feng Shui is really the energy system of your home. So it's like acupuncture, but on the home level. So because the home is also a physical body that we are living in with our body all the time. So in the quantum field, we are experiencing that we are affected by that, at least subconsciously, by everything that's around us. And by creating Feng Shui means wind and water means the breath, and water stands for the movement. Again, we can place certain items, colors, positioning ourselves in such a way that we are feeling in harmony and in peace with our environment, and therefore start attracting more success, more well-being, better relationships, more inner peace.
Beautiful. Excellent. That's a really cool image of your home being like your body and like being an acupuncture. That's really tangible. Can get it.
Yeah.
And how does it change lives? I've actually read on the question sheet, how does it save lives? But I think that's a bit dramatic. How does it change lives?
Yeah, definitely. Change really has 2 words in it, chi and angle, right? So it's all how we see things, right? So what is our perception every day? And so on the subconscious level, we are seeing things like the images, the colors, the things that are around us that we are not always addressing because it's like we see it, we come into a house, but that's kind of, we think that's it. We just see it, but we don't see the effect it has on us. And I think everybody has that experience that they, come into a place and they're like, oh, I don't like the vibe here. Or there's something off. I just don't know what, right? And then come in another place and you're like, oh, it's aesthetically not so great, but it's a great vibe and you want to keep hanging out there and you can't leave the space, right? So in that sense, there's like a different perception, but it's an energy perception. So you don't really know why it is. Now, Feng Shui is really the energy system that helps you to understand, first of all, how is that vibe and how you can change that vibration of field of your space. And as we are reflecting always what is outside of us, inside of us, and what we have inside of us, we're reflecting back outside. We call that through the mirror neurons in our brain. We actually can create a shift. We can create a change. We're seeing a different angle of things. So, for example, if I would sit this way all the time, right, then, a little bit off the camera, you wouldn't see me, right? And I wouldn't see you. But if I would change just 45 degrees, I see you and you see me. So there's a perception difference by the angle we have. So Feng Shui is really based on how the compass directions work. And so we call that the compass school. And so for each person, there's a different angle that works the strongest for you. So there's certain compass directions that work stronger for one person than for the other. And when you place in certain items or images or books in that angle, I would call that acupuncture point in your home, you will actually create a different vibration. And so by creating a different vibration, you change ultimately your subconscious, you change your beliefs, you change your thought patterns. And because of that, you'll start attracting different things. So Feng Shui for me is that last part of the law of attraction that most people are not practicing. So because they're always focusing on their mindset, focusing on visualization, they're focusing on taking things into action, planning, strategy, but they're actually not understanding that the missing link is the environment, because the environment is nonstop working energetically on you. And so certain places you'll be like, oh, I'm so focused, I'm so concentrated, I can get everything done. And then other places you're like, I'm procrastinating, nothing gets done. But what if you can create a space around you that makes you always in a strong position, a strong focus, a happy feeling? And that's actually what Feng Shui does. So in a sense, it changes people's life. And we have seen that that's the missing link of the law of attraction that I've been teaching for 30 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've never put the two together. Instinctively, I've always wanted to have a clear space because that makes sense that you can't have anything in if you're full. But I haven't ever made the connection as well between the directions and perhaps yin and yang and the elements, which I would also like you to talk about if possible.
Yeah. Yeah, of course there is, Feng Shui has several aspects to it. So definitely the directions, and that's based on your personal energy number. And people can find that out by going to the free Mary Diamond app on the app stores, where you put in your birthday and your birth gender. And then you actually will get a compass, and I'm just opening the compass right now. And so based on that compass, you actually get 4 directions that work well for you. And so my compass is different than your compass. So this is like my compass for me, right? And so that means my success direction. So you have success, health, relationship, and wisdom. My success direction is southwest. So for you, that can be east or north. And so what I then put in that southwest direction of my office, for example, I put there my books, I put there my awards, I put there anything that I feel is vibrationally a correct match for what I ultimately want to bring into the world. Yeah. And you also have a relationship direction. Of course, in my office, I will not put there my whole family. I will put my clients there. I would put, for example, a globe there because I have students in 190 countries. So it's a symbol, right? That you can put there that resonates with you. And so that is, the first thing is to make sure the right wind, the right flow is activated in your space around you. And also then we try to also face the right wind, face the right flow of energy. And in, for example, your office or workspace, you also need to make sure you see the door. So because when you see the door, you see people coming in, even if you work online. Literally, I'm talking to you online, right? But I actually am connecting in with like you coming into my space. Yeah. So I'm sitting that I can see you walking in case you would be physically here. So that is like one of the steps. And then some people, if they can, will try also to face one of their good directions. So I'm right now facing my wisdom direction because I'm teaching, I'm inspiring wisdom. So I always change the energy. So that's one part of Feng Shui we're working with. We also work, of course, with what we say, the yin and the yang. Yin and yang is really the balance, the harmony. When everything is in balance, that's how we feel. We feel in peace. And that means the yin and the yang is equal. Now, the yin is passive energy and yang is active energy. And so it's like, think about something that's active is water. Yeah, like a bubbling fountain, or even a plant is something that's very active because it's growing. like a bamboo plant, for example. That's seen as active, but certain colors are seen very yang, like reds and oranges and hot pinks and something that is like a fire, and you have that on right now, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of elements like this. So you definitely are very yang right now because of the blue hair, it's the water element, right? And the colors. So that's really beautiful. And then you have yin, and yin is more calming, and that's more earth elements like crystals, for example,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they are very slow growing, right? They don't
Mm-hmm.
grow that fast, right? It's like thousands of years. So it's very
Yeah.
calming and peaceful. So that's why a lot of people in today's world, they're collecting crystals or want to have crystals around it because it gives them a peaceful, calming energy.
Yeah.
Because their life is already very hectic, very yang, like we're bombarded with information. So crystals calm our energy down. Metal is also a calming vibration. It's very slow. Just think how long it takes to grow gold or silver, right? It
Mm.
takes thousands of years. So it's a very calming energy. So, and therefore the colors of earth, that are like beiges and browns and yellows and light pinks, will actually create that very calming effect, but also happy effect. It doesn't mean that it's unhappy. It just
Yeah.
means calming, right? And then I would say we also can work with these colors and these elements in our environment, and they need to be placed in certain directions again, right? So, for example, water is an element we would put as a bubbling fountain. We can't put it in the south because it will dim our fire, right? We'll
Mm.
put it in the north, for example, right? Plants can or be best in the south or in the east because that's the direction that aligns with the wood elements. Yeah.
Mm.
Why we would not place it in the west, because in the west it's where the silver and the gold element is. So
Oh.
every element is connected with a direction, and depending on your birthdays, you will probably need more of one element than the other elements. Yeah.
Wow.
So apparently you need the hot pinks, right? So
Yeah.
I love that, right?
Along
So
with the stones, the crystals to calm.
with the crystal to calm it, right? And so I wear a lot of golds, yeah, and whites, because that is actually something that supports me, because I'm very fiery. I have a lot of energy, but for me to calm that down, I rather have golden energy around me. So it all, some people feel it intuitively, but in Feng Shui, we can really look into more how you approach it for each birthday.
Okay, amazing. I love that it's individual, so that really shapes each person's home. And
Correct.
I'm guessing that people have their whole homes designed, even from off plan, according to their feng shui too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. So, sometimes people ask me to come in to do the consulting for their home as they already have it, and we can definitely arrange a lot of changes without, I would say pulling down
Knocking
the,
it
the,
down
the
and
walls.
destroying.
Right. So, and that is one of the things we definitely can work on, and with huge results, by the way. But
Mm.
I always say, suggesting it's easier if you could start from the floor plan. I can work with the architect and then with the interior designer. I'm not an interior designer, but I can tell what is best for the interior designer to work with as colors, if it's for a bedroom or an office, how to position things. So that is something that's always the easiest if you can start from the beginning, but you don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's more accessible. And I think that feeds quite nicely into when you're coming to Mind, Body, Spirit in May. You have a workshop, Feng Shui Your Life for Success and Money, and that's on Friday the 24th. Will
Yeah.
you be bringing your book with you, Feng Shui Your Life?
Yes, so I just published a new book, Feng Shui Your Life, with Hay House, and I will be, after the workshop, I will be doing book signing in the Hay House place in the Mind, Body, Spirit. So I'm very excited for that. It's my first book signing in London since a long time. So I'm super happy. And I have to be honest, Mind, Body, Spirit is something I lived many years in London. And I actually had put that one moment on my vision board to be
Oh,
speaking on the Mind, Body, Spirit. And then I moved to France. And then I moved back to LA. So this is like a long time ago. And I always keep my vision boards from like many years ago. And I went back to look at it. And so it's been on my vision board to speak at Mind, Body, Spirit. So
Wow, that's so
hereby it's
cool.
happening.
Yeah. Vision boards work, people. Vision boards work.
They do. And,
Amazing.
one of the things I always say to people, and that's what we're going to talk about in the workshop on how to attract success and money by your home, using your home, is that your home is like a 3-dimensional vision board. Yeah. And so where do you activate in your home with symbols, with colors, your success and your money to attract that even more? Yeah.
Right.
And so this is what I've seen with even, top people in the law of attraction world when they were stuck, in reaching. And even like the producer of The Secret, at some points, he was saying to me, Marie, I'm stuck. The law of attraction is not working for me. Till I came into her home and redesigned her whole space. And then I asked her, what do you want? She said, I want to get onto Oprah Winfrey's show. And so we put Oprah Winfrey in a specific place in her apartment. And within a month, the show production called her to be on the show. And so that's why some people call me the secret behind the secret, because half of the people in the secret were my clients before the movie hit its number one. The producer, the publisher even was my client. And so I use that missing link that most people have been feeling. The law of attraction is not working for me. I'm hitting a ceiling. Why is it not happening? It's because your home is telling a different story than the goals that you have.
Wow, that is amazing. That's like shamanism and witchcraft in ancient philosophy of energy. It's wonderful.
It is. In a way, it's very magical. A lot of
Yeah.
people say, like, I've tried everything, and then they do these little twists, and then suddenly, like, the door opens up. Yeah. And so it's very interesting. It's how I got from being a lawyer in Belgium to be one of the global renowned speakers on the law of attraction, is because I use Feng Shui to not just visualize, but also make sure my home visualizes with me.
Wow, amazing. I used to be a lawyer as well. Look at us not doing boring jobs anymore.
It's so good. We are recovered.
Exactly. Addicted to work and the wrong kind, and now we're in recovery. Fantastic. So can you feng shui anything from an office to a handbag or a wardrobe? Like, how do those, different smaller aspects perhaps affect someone?
Yeah, well, the first step of feng shui is also creating space. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So creating space to allow the universe to bring energy towards you. So that could be your wallet, right? Getting out all your receipts, right? All your old photos or any papers that are not good anymore. Your handbag. It can be on your desk that you're like, okay, before I do this, I'll take away all the old cups or my empty water bottles, or, just organize things.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're sharing, that's important for you. But most people don't get how important it really is to create a space, a neat space around them. And that can be in your closet. It can be everywhere. So let go of things that do not longer serve you anymore. Yeah. So it's not about what doesn't give you joy, because a lot of things give you joy, and I'm not going into that system, but really be practical. Like that dress, will I ever wear that? It's a size 2. Hey, I'm a size 12 now. Will I ever get back into that? Probably not. So let me pass that on, right, to somebody who can use it, and therefore you create goodwill, you create good energy, because you're passing it on to somebody else that can use it. And that's already good karma. So you want to receive the gifts of the universe, but start giving away first. Yeah. So you receive back. Yeah.
Wow.
So a lot of people, they want to receive, but they're holding on to things. Yeah. And then, of course, nothing can happen. Yeah. So you need to create space. So in that perspective, you can do that. But you can literally, even in a car, it's like some people say, can I feng shui my car? I said, yes, well, declutter the space first. Make sure there's a nice smell, because people, we're not just visual people. We're also multi-sensory people. So perhaps you're more into smelling something that is nice, right? Or you open your closet and it smells lavender and you're like, oh, I love that. Or you like more, you come into a space like more vanilla or cookies, or I don't know what your smell is, right?
Pizza. I want everything to smell of pizza. That's my
Smell of
spiritual
pizza.
smell.
Okay, so go for that. So whatever feels for you comfortable, right, and nice. So if you can't do it in a visible way, then do it in this other sensory way. It could be music, that you come into
Mhm.
your house and you're like, I don't declutter, but I put in some nice music and I immediately feel happy when I hear that music. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I lit that scented candle. So whatever that is for you, because you're multisensory, energy needs to open up. Yeah. And
Wow.
I think that is very helpful.
Yeah, I was going to ask about music and smell as well. So that's amazing that you tied that in. And according to Chinese mythology and astrology, so we're in the year of the wood dragon. Would there be different things that you do according to each year as well?
Yeah, there is what we call the yearly flying star, the Feng Shui. And so when the Chinese energy comes in, Chinese New Year comes in, we need to really activate certain areas. So, for example, for the wooden dragon year, some people say, oh, I would like to have a dragon statue or dragon image. Where do I place that? Well, the best place for the wooden dragon year is to get a golden dragon statue or an image of a golden dragon and put it in the southeast section of your home. But
Wow.
never put it higher than your heart. You don't want the dragon to be too dominant. Yeah, because it's a strong animal. So on the level of your heart,
I'm
when
just
you're
looking at my
standing,
dragon.
yeah, when you're standing, right? We'll put it
Okay.
on. But in the southeast section, if it's the southeast of your office or the southeast of your whole floor plan, it's okay. And so also cash flow this year. So every year the cash flow star, as we call that, moves around. So there's an energy of cash flow that changes. And for this year, it's in the east. So if you have a bubbling fountain in the east section of your workspace, you will always create new ideas and new cash flow coming towards you. So you
Wow.
can place that there. Or if you feel like I want romance this year, then extra support you will get from the northwest. So place then, for example, 2 rose quartz hearts in the northwest, or like an image of lovebirds, or anything you feel is, not a solitary image, but just an image of a couple,
Okay.
whatever that is for you, and put it in the northwest section of your bedroom or the northwest section of your whole floor plan.
Wow. Amazing. Great little life hacks. I love this. It's so graspable. I love it.
I know.
Practical. Yeah. I'm really into logical practical that is steeped in magic. Perfect.
It is. And so there's a whole background behind it, how it affects your quantum field. But, as we are lawyers, I'm very practical.
Yeah,
So I'm
exactly.
like always saying like, just do this, this and this. And then people are like, oh my God, all this has started happening. And I said, yes, because it's an alignment. Yeah, it's an alignment between your soul, between your body, mind, and spirit, of course, and your environment. And so if you understand how the energy system works, right, where the flow of energy comes in from the universe into our
Mhm.
three-dimensional world, and we activate where that flow comes in, then that flow gets activated and gets enhanced, and therefore you will have more of that attraction coming to you.
Amazing. And the converse, if something's blocking it, like front door blockages and things like that, and under the
Yeah.
bed stuff. I
Yeah, your
remember
home
someone
can
saying,
really block you,
yeah.
literally, right? I've seen this so many times. I was just talking to a lady last week, and she does portraits of women and like showing them as goddesses. And I said, that's beautiful and amazing. And she said, but I'm single for 10 years. And I said, may I ask you how many images of solitary women are hanging in your bedroom? And she said, oh my God, 10 images of herself as a goddess. I said, that's wonderful. Perhaps you needed that 10 years ago after a divorce, that you need to really feel again to be the goddess. But
Mm,
right now you are looking for the God to come in your life, or a goddess, another goddess, whatever that is for you. I said that means if you're telling yourself all the time, it's okay to be by myself, then you know what the universe will say. The universe says, okay, great. Don't send you anyone, right?
yeah.
So change that, take that out, and start playing with romance, images of romance around you in your bedroom, because you're subconsciously giving yourself a different permission.
Wow, that's incredible. Amazing. Yeah. And then that's how you're programmed, and that's what you'll be and attract. That's what we're looking
That
for.
is, yeah.
You mentioned earlier personal energy number.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away, because I think you're going to touch on this in the workshop at Mind Body
Yeah.
Spirit. I've never heard of that before. Go.
Well, if we look at the flow of energy, we see the flow is connected to breath, but in the world around us, the physical breath is what we have, but the breath of, I would say, the world is wind. Yeah, that's the air, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the air goes in and out. But based on our birthday, we do have wind directions, compass directions, where the wind is the strongest for us. Yeah. So, for example, I'm living in LA, and LA is the most southwest area of literally not only California, but also for the United States. Yeah, because that is where the wind for me is the strongest. It doesn't mean I cannot travel to New York, but New York is the East Coast, and East is
Mm-hmm.
not one of my strongest directions. Yeah. So, for example, when I then look at in my house where I sleep towards, I found a house where I could sleep at night with my head towards the southwest. So at night I get more downloads, I get more connection. So the
Wow.
directions you have is actually how your soul is connected in with the three-dimensional world, but there's certain wind vibrations that are stronger for you. And then we start playing with that. And then, of course, I'll talk in the workshop by using your personal directions, how to activate it for success and money. Because when you do that, it's just like the easiness is happening. It doesn't mean if I would look at the east, I would not be successful, but it would be harder. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all about getting the ease and the effortless vibration. Yeah. So it's like you want to climb the mountain, but you want to have the wind behind you. You don't want
Mm-hmm.
to have the wind against you. Right.
Wow.
And so when you play with these wind directions, where the breath of the universe is aligned with your own personal breath, then actually there's an ease and an effortless vibration that people say, how is it possible? I was on the right place at the right time, meeting the right people all the time, right? How is it? Because there's an ease and you're with the wind. And so that's what has happened in my life. I've always been on the right place, right time, meeting the right people. And I also have a deep trust in that perhaps, it was not the right time 10 years ago to be with Mind, Body, Spirit, but that it's now with the book coming out with Hay House to come and speak with you. So it's all for me, that trust at the same time, but also knowing that the wind will bring me always at the right place at the right time.
Amazing. Yeah, that is it's a big trust for some people. I know
Yeah,
that. But once you start seeing results from it, the trust builds, doesn't it?
it does. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. So this is a personal question for me because I'm dyslexic. Is your book also on audio or is it just in
Yeah.
hardback?
Yeah.
Great.
It's on audio. Hay House provided that on audio, on Kindle. So it's on all the versions.
Perfect, because I can hardly read despite having 2 law degrees. It was challenging.
No, I get that. So that's why some people really love the audio version.
Yeah, and are you speaking?
No, unfortunately, it's not
It's sad.
myself speaking. Yes,
Sad times.
but I hope, well, you can listen to a lot of things from my own podcast and YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So there's many other ways to listen to me.
Just always like to know. I looked at your Instagram earlier and I saw that cactuses are not great in the home. That's very interesting. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because they are actually considered to be outdoor plants, first of all.
okay.
And so they are, especially the cactus that have spiky needles on it, because they create actually what we call shachi, negative chi. So, but also other plants that have spiky leaves, they actually are like almost like knives, pointing at us. Yeah. The
Mm-hmm.
closer we have that towards us, let's say we're on a desk and we have cactus on our desk or around us, that actually creates a diversion of negative energy. And so we need to really take that out. So outside the door is better, or put it in places at least where you're not spending too much time. Yeah.
Okay.
So perhaps the kitchen or laundry or bathroom, but not where you're sleeping. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
not where you're working. Yeah. Or where
Okay.
you're sitting 3 to 5 hours a day, because that will affect your concentration, your well-being. So just avoid that.
Wow. Yeah, because people like them because they're low maintenance.
Yeah.
And I think some people think that it takes away some of the energy of the electronic equipment.
Yeah, so there are some people that share that. I don't know the scientific proof of that. I have
Mm.
no idea. But I always say, you can, instead of that, take like white quartz crystal or other crystals that are very good to take on the negative chi of electromagnetic fields. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then you cleanse them regularly and you're fine too. So, I work with crystals to do that
Yeah.
and some other tools. But I would just try to avoid the cactus and see how you feel better.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. I was going to ask you if you've already given me one success story of the lady with Oprah. Do you have one more perhaps to share with us?
Well, I just think about this one lady from London, and she was an accountant. And one of the things that happened was that she was telling me that she never get like compliments, not a bonus, not any raise from her boss. And she's like, I don't know what I do wrong. I do the best I can. Like I'm good as anybody else, but he's just like totally ignoring me. And she was sitting with her back to the door in her office that she had. So I suggested that she would turn her desk around and see the door. I said, you're saying he doesn't look at me, he doesn't see me, but actually you don't see him either, right?
Mm.
So turn yourself around so when he's passing by, he can see your face. And so she did that, just this very simple thing. And she called me a few weeks later and she said, my God, Marie, he started giving me compliments. And then a few months later, she got a raise. And then she got a better job offer on top of it within 6 months that she left that business, right? But the wonderful thing is that I always say to people, it's just a simple hack sometimes, just
Yeah.
don't sit facing a wall, for example. Yeah. Because that's what she was doing, because said nobody can see you. Like the
Mhm.
wall can see you, but nobody can see your beautiful face. And so by just turning that around and having the wall behind her, she was supported, but she could see the door, and therefore she could receive the compliments. Yeah.
Wow.
And so that was a lady from London a few years ago.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I love it. I love these stories. I hope they're all in your book.
They're all in my book. Yes.
Great. 10 out of 10 then. Good. I can't wait. Can't wait to listen to it. Even though it's not you, I will miss you, but I will enjoy the book.
Yeah.
um, this might sound very random and strange, but tattoos are obviously very current. And I'm wondering whether there's places on the body that shouldn't have tattoos. Does that depend on your personal energy number?
Mm.
Things like that, or images to perhaps stay away from?
Well, that's a really good question. And, tattoos is something very personal for everybody. And, but I always especially would say, be careful what do you put on your heart level, but the heart space, not only in the front, but in the back. Yeah. And what you put
Mm.
on your spine. Yeah. Because your spine is where your life force is going, is from your spirit through your crown chakra, going over your chakras to your connection with earth. And so I always say to people, if they have like certain symbols that are negative or that are perhaps, a little bit not supporting you energetically so much, rather have them on the arms, for example, on your legs, but be careful, especially where the heart is. Yeah.
Hmm.
The chest and where the spine is. Yeah.
Okay.
And also, some people are not always thinking about that. But for example, I had this woman, and she had a tattoo of a shipwreck. I don't know why people would have that. I would do a sailing ship, but not a shipwreck. But she had that, and it was on her kidney area. Yeah.
Oh, right.
So I said to her, how has your kidneys been? And she's like, I've been really having trouble since I put that there. And I said, because energetically, you have to think it's not where the kidney is, it's also in the aura field. Tattoos are also in your aura field. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just in that they are resonating in your field of energy. And I said, it's really on that field. So I actually suggested her to change it around, and she made a beautiful flower from it. So they were able to redesign it. And she started improving her kidney chi, her kidney energy very much with it. So we sometimes have to think, where do we place it, and what is that image? Is that really supporting it? Does it feel right? I think that is definitely important to look
Yeah.
at it. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Because also what it says, if people put words on their body, they need to probably be positive and mean something.
Yeah, and if you don't want to put that there, it's something that's not so positive, just think where you would put it. Make sure it's not on an organ, like in a place
Mhm.
that's more neutral, for example. But some people go as far as possible to even check where the meridians are on the body.
Yeah.
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 So if you, for example, have your heart meridian right on your arm, and you would put there something negative, word or negative image, then how would it support you? Because ultimately, in the old systems in Japan, in China, they would use the tattoos to support the meridians. Yeah. So there was a whole tradition around that. Yeah.
Ritualistic. Yeah.
Ritualistic. And now in today's world, people are not always aware enough about, and I would suggest always to people that want to do tattoos, do some little more research on what that image means, where you can place it best. I mean, there's a lot of information out on it.
Yeah. Well, this might be a good time to declare that I had my first tattoo of
Okay.
a rainbow and what I perceive as a wise and calm protective dragon on the back of my head, because I
Oh,
wanted it to
amazing.
resonate with my third eye and my throat chakra
Yeah.
for expression. Let me just show you
Yeah.
her.
Okay. Oh, wow. That is powerful. Yeah.
So, and I
Amazing.
found it to be very grounding.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it, you need to check out, and it's for everybody personal,
Yeah.
a tattoo, right? So I always say to people that come with an idea, I said, like, let's test it out. Sometimes you can test out muscle testing or deep
Mm.
meditation, or like it needs to be something. And if it's part of a ritualistic vibration, then it can be life changing sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. I've been obsessed with dragons since I was small, because I've done Chinese Kung Fu and Qigong and Tai Chi since I was 6. So, yeah,
Yeah,
this
and
is
you
my
have
first
your
and only one.
dragon earrings. I should have put on my dragon
Oh,
earrings.
you
I have
have
some
them?
too. Yeah, I didn't put them on this morning.
We'll match when I meet you in London, darling. Then we can be all dragony.
Okay, I will bring my
Pack them.
dragon with me.
Excellent. Amazing. I'm wondering if there's anything else. There was one last thing I saw on your Instagram as well, that making love is also part of Feng Shui. I think it was in the same category as sleeping. So there should be a block from the bathroom.
Yeah,
Is there anything else you can say about making love as well in terms of
yeah.
Feng Shui?
So one of the things I see is that people, their desire to make love will weaken when they have too much blue around them. So
Right.
images of water above their headboard, because it's literally drowning the passion. Yeah.
Oh.
So we need to put things that are more, if you want more making love, go for more hot pinks, the reds, but not everything in red, because that's too much fire also. And then we won't feel safe enough subconsciously.
Okay.
When there's fire around us, we won't make love. We feel not safe. But just certain items like pillows or hearts, or like something that is around your candles, like in these colors. So remove too much blue. Yeah, that
Mhm.
always weakens the passion. Also, having mirrors reflecting your bed is actually also calming down the passion, because mirrors are reflecting. If you're by yourself, it's actually reflects you, it doubles you, but it means that you're by yourself. So it's very hard to attract love and passion then. Where you're with two people, you start doubling the partner, and you start having more a roving eye. So people start coming in more that, or start to flirt with you, or perhaps, your partner looks more to somebody else. So, but again, the mirror is considered water, literally. It's a water
Ah.
element. Yeah. So I always say to people, cover the mirror at night, put a screen in front of it or curtains over it, so that, and people really feel that they're much more loving and together and more passionate with each other. And one of them that I shared in the video was, if there's like an opening towards the bathroom, And so cover that, or put a screen in front of it. So you don't want that to see that bathtub or that shower or that toilet even in your bedroom. I mean, let's be honest, that's not very passionate to see that.
It's not very passionate, no. And that's not one of my favorite smells that I want to come out of my wardrobe either.
That's it, right? And so I always say cover it, and people really feel the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so much. I think we've got everything all done there.
Yeah.
We don't have to over egg the pudding. It's been wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I'm so excited to share more because there's many secrets I haven't shared yet that we're going to talk about in a workshop on the mind, body, spirit. And then also people can see me personally for their book signing of the book Feng Shui Your Life from Hay House.
Brilliant. And so just to recap, your workshop is on Friday the 24th. Yeah. And the book signing, when is that going to be?
I think it's just after the workshop. Yeah.
Brilliant. I will see you there. I will have just come out of my workshop and I'll come into yours and see you.
Oh, that's so amazing. I'm looking forward to meet you in person.
Me too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a great afternoon.
Bye.
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 Bye. Thank you for listening to the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival podcast. We would love to connect with you in real person at one of our epic events. Go to mindbodyspiritfestival.co.uk for tickets and information. I will see you there. Don't forget you can also follow us on Instagram, MBS Wellbeing, for behind the scenes content, updates and offers. Stay cosmic, you beautiful soul.